For the honourable member for Corangamite.
Thank you very much, Mr Deputy Speaker. I rise to move a motion concerning the East-West Link, one of the most important infrastructure projects in Victoria's history. I state for the record the full motion that the House recognises that the government will contribute $1.5 billion towards the completion of the western section, Stage 2, of Melbourne's East-West Link. The commitment to Stage 2 of the East-West Link is in addition to the Commonwealth's $1.5 billion contribution towards the $6 to $8 billion Stage 1 section of the East-West Link. And together, Stage 1 and Stage 2 will create some 6,700 jobs, construction jobs which are so important for Melbourne, Geelong and South West Victoria. And I ask the House, the motion continues, that the House notes that the East-West Link is critical to easing congestion on the Westgate Bridge and improving Geelong's transport links to Melbourne, easing congestion on the Eastern Freeway and alleviating major traffic bottlenecks at Hoddle Street and Alexandra Parade, and improving freight efficiency and connections for major industries in Melbourne's outer east, north and south east to the Port of Melbourne and international airports. East-West Link will never happen under a Labor government. State Labor opposes the project, despite estimates that the cost of Melbourne's road congestion will grow to $5 billion per annum by 2021 and $7.2 billion by 2031, more than double current levels. And the Victorian Leader of the Opposition has described the East-West Link as a grand hoax and has threatened to rip up any contracts that are signed with respect to the project, and in doing so has shown contempt for the people of Victoria. Mr Deputy Speaker, the East-West Link is vital for Victoria, vital for Geelong and for Corangamite, the electorate I proudly represent. Often, Mr Deputy Speaker, governments are accused of not having vision, of not thinking long-term. Well, here is yet one more project which reflects the Victorian government's long-term vision for our great state, its long-term commitment to investment in transport infrastructure. And as I've mentioned, the federal government is proudly backing this project to the tune of $3 billion, building the roads of the 21st century. Of course, money, $3 billion, which will be lost if state Labor is elected on Saturday. And I note, Mr Deputy Speaker, we have a very proud Geelong delegation in the House today, and all of whom are backing the East-West Link because they know how important this is for our region. They know how important it is for jobs, for our future, for our economic prosperity, at a time when every job in our city is important. Mayor Darren Lyons, the Mayor of the City of Greater Geelong, is here, Deputy Mayor Bruce Harwood, the CEO Jill Miles, Kylie Warren and Bernadette Uzelak from the Geelong Chamber of Commerce, Elaine Carbines representing G21, and just so as not to miss anyone out, the former member for South Barwon and Alistair Patterson, all are backing the East-West Link because they know how important it is. And look at this in contrast to Daniel Andrews. He's no John Brumby, he's no Steve Bracks, that's quite clear. His commitment to tear up the contracts for East-West Link and shut this project down is one of the most politically reckless, economically destructive actions of any political leader we've seen. Ripping up contracts, Mr Deputy Speaker, will expose the state to millions and millions of dollars of liability and signal to the rest of the country and the world that we can't be trusted to do business. Today, Mr Deputy Speaker, I want to focus on the benefits of the western section to Geelong and my electorate of Corangamite. Under a Napthine government, construction will start at the end of 2015. At the moment, some 14,000 Geelong motorists are travelling to Melbourne every day for work, and really from Werribee onwards, it's a quagmire. What the western section will do is save them 3 hours of travel time a week. It will deliver a second river crossing. It will unblock the terrible quagmire, the car park that we see leading up to Westgate Bridge. The Westgate Bridge is terribly congested, carrying some 200,000 vehicles a day, and the western section will provide capacity for around 100,000 vehicles per day. And of course, as we know in Geelong, Mr Deputy Speaker, it's all about jobs. Here is one of the most important projects we have seen in many years for jobs, 6,700 jobs. The western section alone will create 3,000 jobs. We need these jobs in Geelong. These are jobs that Labor is trying to shut down, and frankly, Mr Deputy Speaker, it's an absolute disgrace. 2 weeks ago, I was very proud to fight and stand side by side with the member for South Barwon, Andrew Katos, and local candidates in the Geelong region, Paula Contell in Geelong, Ron Nelson in Ballerine, Tony McManus in Lara, all of whom are fighting for East West Link. They know how important this is for our future. Just like the Great Ocean Road upgrade, unfortunately the member for Grayndler, who's speaking next, also very, very unfortunately fought against that one as well. But they understand how important this is for business. And I note that the Assistant Minister for Infrastructure is also in the House, a great champion for building the roads of the 21st century. Now, I just want to— that's not actually correct. The member for Grayndler has made another false statement in this House that we don't build anything. Construction on the Great Ocean Road has already commenced, and it is so exciting to see our investment in the roads of the 21st century, Mr Deputy Speaker. And I tell you what, the East West Link is going to revolutionise our city, and that's what we need. Let me just give you an example. Journey Management, a wonderful transport and logistics company in Geelong, employs some 200 people, and they estimate that the East West Link, Shane Blakeborough I met just a few days ago, will save the company $1 million a year in fuel, in maintenance and in productivity gains. Currently, it's cheaper for his trucks to drive from Geelong to Albury than it is from Geelong to Dandenong. And the East-West Link will also mean that rather than doing one trip a day, he will be able to do 2 trips a day from Geelong to Dandenong. Now, that is a massive boost to the productivity of a very important business in Geelong. And I note, what's extraordinary about Labor's position is that just 6 years ago, the Leader of the Opposition, through his support behind an East-West Link, along with the member for Gorton and former members for Gellibrand and Lawler, of course the former Prime Minister Gillard, and they actually said in a submission to the East-West Link Needs Assessment Study, we support a cross-city road link from the western suburbs to the eastern freeway. The consequences of doing nothing are negative and far-reaching. They will threaten Melbourne's future economic success and livability. Substantial new investment is needed in the transport network to avoid these consequences and to support the changes taking place across Melbourne, including opening up new jobs and business opportunities across the city. Doing nothing, therefore, is not an option. Now, Mr Deputy Speaker, that's why I've launched a petition, and I urge anyone who hasn't signed it to go onto my website, sarahhenderson.com.au, sign the petition calling on all MPs in this House, including Labor MPs, particularly the Leader of the Opposition, particularly the member for Corio, the member for Ballarat, and I note, unfortunately, the member for Corio is not even speaking on this debate, which is very telling, I have to say. And I can say that this petition, and already hundreds have come in signing this petition, urging members on both sides of the House to back the East-West Link. I've also called on local unions and local union leaders to back the East-West Link. Previously, they were supportive of the western section because they know how important this is for jobs and for economic growth, and now there is deafening silence. They are putting their partisan political games ahead of jobs. And I say to Geelong Trades Hall and to other local union leaders, put jobs ahead of politics and back the East-West Link. Mr Deputy Speaker, it is vital to have coalition governments in Spring Street as well as Canberra if Victorian families are to have the job creation they need and deserve. The simple fact is Victoria cannot afford to lose all the hard-gained earnings of the last 4 years by going back to Labor. Labor cannot be trusted to keep Victoria's finances in order. Labor cannot be trusted to manage money. They cannot be trusted to deliver on their promises. And, Mr Deputy Speaker, the promise of Daniel Andrews and his insidious links with the CFMEU, which seems to be running the Labor opposition more than anyone else, are the most reckless and economically destructive commitment that has ever been seen in the state of Victoria. Look what they're also doing with Bay West, another destructive project for our environment. So, Mr Deputy Speaker, I urge all MPs to get on board, back the East-West Link, and for Victoria, vote Dennis Napthine's government in on Saturday. Thank you very much.
I thank the honourable member for Corangamite.